So on to uniforms. This is the leather jerkin. It was reasonably commonly worn, but not really that common. It was more usually not worn, partially because it would keep you lovely and warm, but because it lacked epaulets, it meant that wearing could slide over your shoulders easily. So this is a 1944 example, September 1944, and I know that because it says it on the little label inside. So it has 4 buttons to go up to here, apart from mine's lost this top button. So on the inside it says September 1944. So it might possibly have been able to see Operation Market Garden. And so, yeah, this was quite common with truck drivers and people like that. But it's seen on D-Day. I think you can see Canadian troops wearing these. So on the outside it has lovely leather, good old leather. Mine's falling to bits, as you can see at the shoulders. Not on this shoulder, but maybe on this shoulder. And then on the inside it's got serge, which is the wool material. So this was used throughout the war. I believe it was first used in the First World War, this pattern. So yeah, here you can see it says size 2. It says, the irony is it says size 2 jerkin leather number 2 camouflage, size 2, and then it says all the other things, the company and the date. So there's that. And this has also got a whole lot of paint on it. It's been used somewhere. It might possibly have been captured, because that looks like it could be grey paint, which looks very similar to the German army colour paint, but so what. Probably wasn't, could have just been used by someone after the war, whilst they're painting and decorating, for all I know. So yeah, onto the uniforms. So during the Second World War, the British had several styles of uniforms. So the first one that they designed or had came up with was called the Pattern 1937 Pattern 37 Battle Dress. So it was developed off a ski suit. Some people say it was developed off Canadian lumberjacks jacket, but it's a whole lot of tosh, whatever they're saying. It's mostly known as being developed off a 1930 ski suit, and so it basically developed from it was a big development from the 1908 service dress uniform, which basically it cuts it short at the waist, something that the Germans only did in 1944 to 45 with their equipment. And so anyway, it's short at the waist, and this means that you save a whole lot of material down there, but the downside is you miss the pockets that are there, and it's got covered over buttons here, here and here, and it has 2 fixed shoulder boards or epaulets, and the insignia goes here. So yeah, like I said at the beginning, I'm a member of the 4th Wiltshires, which was part of the 43rd Wessex Division. So yeah, that's donated by here. There's Wiltshires, that's the regiment name. That is a divisional sign, so it's the Wyvern, 43rd Wessex Division. And then there is the line which donates infantry, and then there is the maroon square which donates the 4th Brigade. So Yeah, and same here. And at the bottom there is the rank, which is corporal. Yeah, so down here is the rank that is corporal, and it's the same on the other arm. However, on this arm, because I didn't have another corporal stripe, I got two lance corporal stripes and sewed them together. I might demote myself, so I'm only a lance corporal. That way it would look more plausible for me having a Lee Enfield, and also it doesn't look as rubbish. Or I could try and get another corporal's set of stripes, because they normally look like this. So that said, if you're an officer, you'd have your rank on your epaulets, and yeah, it also has a piece of cloth that goes around here, and it's fastened by a buckle here. The big problem with the blouse is, or the tunic, is that as soon as you wear it and you move around, it starts to do this. It starts to make it look as if a bit like you've either got a big beer belly or you've got breasts. So yeah, this is actually a post-war Greek battle dress, but it's exactly the same style. Only difference is with the Greek one, it's only got one little hook up here, hook and eye, whereas the World II British ones had two, and it's slightly different colour, but it doesn't really matter because in wartime the colours will change depending on the time of year they make it. For example, if you do it at a time when they've got lots of brown, then it will be a browner uniform. If it's made at a time of the year when they got less brown, more green, it's going to be more of a green uniform, which is what this one is. So yeah, it's 1953 dated, I believe. So yeah, it's the same as British World II, so it's acceptable in my opinion. And it's a lot cheaper. It saves you having to spend £80 odd on a reproduction one, which is a massive waste of money. So, in my opinion, so I've also got here a chain, and attached to it is a pocket watch. I'll go over this later, but if I was a corporal, I'd be quite likely to have one of these. Yeah, and it's attached to buttonhole there. So I'll go ahead and take it off now and just show you what the inside looks like. Just thought I'd mention the battle dress is sometimes worn like this as well, with the first button and the iron hoops undone. And I also forgot to mention, whilst I was talking about this, that it was designed so that it could be attached to the trousers at the back. Yeah. Don't know how well you saw that, but yeah, it's covered over, and it's at the back, and the big problem with that is that if you've not got your webbing set properly, or just you're running around in general, the battle dress, the webbing you get underneath the battle dress can end up in the battle dress being pulled up, and then when it gets pulled up, the buttons pop off, or it can rip the fabric, which ruins the uniform. So yeah, that's that. I'll now show you the inside of the jacket, and also it's missing out the chain. So here's the inside of it. I've attached rather badly a fake reproduction label that I had just to make it look or feel more authentic. So yeah, here's the actual date of this, 1954. Greek again, like I said before, but same style, literally the same. The only difference is that like I said before, it should have 2 hooks if it's British World War II, and it's only got 1 hook, and also it's slightly difficult. So, yep, it has 2 pockets here, one here and one here, and these were so that you could keep like anything you want. You can actually stick pistols in there, or have extra grenades, or just have anything you need, like your wallet. I usually keep my wallet in this one here from now on, because I've came very close to popping the buttons off the tunic pockets. So yeah, so that's basically the inside of it. There's also a little hook here to hang up if you want, and here is the little bits where it is attached to the trousers. So there's the 3 buttonholes. Because my trousers also aren't original but the same style again, I don't have a 3rd button, so that's why this hole doesn't look as used. So yeah, and it also doesn't go through to the other side, which means it's weaker, so therefore it's liable to just rip. So yeah, I mean, I don't prefer this to my German uniforms, partially just because of the using it just rides up and gets really annoying, and it's, yeah, it doesn't look as good as the German uniforms either, in my opinion. But anyway, yep, I'll move on to the trousers. So this is my original Pattern 40 Battle Dress blouse. So the main differences in this are, well, the only differences in this are that the buttons on the tunic pockets are removed, and the pleats in the pockets are also got rid of. So yeah, that's basically it, and the insignia obviously. So yeah, this is from a colour sergeant in the Royal Armed Service Corps. Yep, this was used in Italy. From what I heard from the person who sold it to me, the old bloke that sold it to her, who owned it before, said that he was using it when it was initially during the war, and there's a bit of blood on here, which is interesting, like a stain that looks very much like blood. So yeah, pretty awesome. Yeah, it's basically retains all the same features, apart from its belt buckle's slightly different. I believe less of these were made, partially because the pattern was introduced and then we had to change it because of economic reasons, due to being attacked by the sea and other stuff like that. So this was, the plans for this were sent to America, and the US produced these for us, because they had the means, they had lots of fields with lots of sheep in, they weren't being bombed, they didn't have to suffer any restrictions whatsoever, so they produced this for us in the Lend-Lease scheme, as well as producing vehicles for us, weapons, and other things like that. For example, the main British tank during the Second World War wasn't really the Churchill, it was actually the Sherman, because that was one of the most mass-produced tanks of the war. There was something like either 70,000 of them produced, which was really high, and they also produced the Willys Jeep for us, and I believe the Ford Jeep as well, the Ford MB Jeep. So anyway, that's that really. Yeah, they also produced stems for us, as well as these uniforms. So yeah, this original, it came with the trousers as well, which are here. I'm not wearing them because they're the same pattern as the ones I'm wearing now, and I'm slowly changing out them into something that is quite rare. The guy, rather annoyingly, cut out the label of these, which is rather annoying. I'm just trying to find where it was.
Now there's a sergeant major enjoys life while he can.
But wherever it was, the guy chopped it out, which is annoying. So yeah, but he left the one in the jacket, which is pretty awesome. The buckles are slightly different design as well. It's a rather bad design actually, because for the use of it, it ended up in this, the tail part of the tunic being frayed. So yeah, I'll just take this off. Again, it can be done at the top, but I'm not, because it's been nicely ironed and folded by the person that had it, so I don't see any point in changing that. So this side here are the original labels. So it's 43 dated, I think. Yeah, 43. And these were mainly used in the Italian campaign. However, they were also used in the European campaign. So, moving on to the main uniform that you would have probably seen on D-Day. So this is the main tunic that you would have seen on D-Day. This is the Patton 40 Economy. Now the reason why it's the economy version is because you should be able to see a big difference between the normal Patton 40 and the Patton 37. So here, all of the buttons are uncovered, no pleats, buttons are uncovered on here and here. And they were the only Battledore variants that the British had, apart from the officers' variants, of course, which are basically this, unbuttoned, so about there, so it would look like this. This is actually a new French battle dress post-war that I modified just by sewing 2 buttonholes here and adding the button here and here, and if I wanted to I could reinforce the collar and add a little hook, but I don't think I'll need to do that. So it just looks exactly the same, so I don't see any real problem with it. This hasn't got any insignia on it, so this would be for private, or it could be for anyone, any rank, because what they used to do is, if you were going on a special clandestine mission, they used to take all your insignia off your uniform, so the division wouldn't be knowing what part of if you got captured or killed, because if you got captured, even if you bit your own tongue off not to tell the Germans anything, they'd still just look on you from their 4th Wiltshire or whatever, or Royal Army Service Corps, or Royal Army Corps, Herefordshire Light Infantry, Durham Light Infantry, or Herefordshire Regiment, or whatever. So yeah, and then they'd also sometimes even give these to officers, because if you have your lovely rank there and a German sniper spots you, they go, oh, that's the captain. Captain's down. Oh, there's the colour sergeant. There's the sergeant. There's the corporal. Reload. Lance corporals. Now there's a whole load of privates not knowing what to do. Now, MG42's open fire, mortars open fire, and that'll basically be it. Because unless there was a strong-willed private, it would go, right, it was a veteran. Everyone on me, you're going into this house now, we're going to take this sniper out, whatever. It would just be an absolute killing zone for any German ambush or re-attack. So, yeah, also it has a slightly different buckle to the other ones. It's just a plain thing, it doesn't have any rollers, doesn't have any teeth to hold it in place. So that's really all I can say about this. Because this is a French pattern, it doesn't fit onto my trousers, but there are 2 buttons here and here that are uncovered, rather than being covered up, they're uncovered, so that basically means catching in the webbing is even worse, and so therefore the buttons get ripped off even easier. So therefore, it's okay, it does its job, but not as good as the Pattern 40 normal and the Pattern 37 battle dress. So just thought I'd mention that the Pattern 40 battle dress economy belt hoop thing looks like this. So yeah. So this is my final uniform. So yeah, basically, this is the variant of the Pattern 40 economy that was issued to either tank crews, armoured vehicle crews, or the Home Guard. Or some of the Home Guard, because there are some Home Guard that were issued with Pattern 37s, because I've seen pictures of them with them, and some Home Guard were issued with regular denim, regular serge battle dress uniforms. So yeah, I got this badged up for Home Guard anyway. So going forward, it's the Bastable Home Guard. So yeah. These original patches, and yeah, the jacket is 1950 dated, and the trousers are 1946 dated, I believe. So you can see the colour difference, what I was talking about earlier with the colour of the uniforms. The colour difference between this and this. These were only made 4 years apart. You can already see the colour difference between this and this. So yeah, these are basically just exactly the same as a regular Pattern 40 tunic, apart from the slight difference, which was that the buttons were detachable without having to and attachable without having to use a needle and thread. So for example, I'll show you. Yeah, this one. You can see here it has a split pin that holds the button in place, and so therefore I can just take the split pin out and move button like so, and then here I have a button and I have a split pin. So yeah, and I can put them back in reasonably easily. There's a bit when it doesn't work, as per usual. You'd usually be doing this not whilst wearing it, but still. And then once in, button back up and ready to go. The slight difference with the trousers was that they were designed to have two pockets, one main pocket here, which would be the one for the trousers, but they were also designed so they had a slit, and then that allowed you to access the, if you're wearing denim if you're wearing serge trousers underneath, if you're an armoured crew vehicle, personnel, you could reach in. And the reason why denims were invented was to, one, alleviate the shortage of wool. Normal army used to have wool, and so the denim goes to the Home Guard. And also, for the vehicle crews, it was absolutely horrible wearing serge in tanks or whatever, because they would get very, very hot, especially on warm days, such as Normandy. That was in June 1944, so one of the hottest months, times of the year. And also, it's a lot easier, or semi-easier, to get out oil stains from this than it is with serge. So yeah, they went with this, and then the Germans obviously wore black uniforms, and that was to hide any oil stains, so they wouldn't even need to worry about getting the oil stains out of the uniforms. They just need to worry about getting it out of the insignia. So yeah, then the British lived the idea of wearing black after the war. So I believe it was in the 60s they started issuing, or it was the 50s they started issuing the black tanker uniforms. So yeah, this would basically be a lot cooler for the tank crews, vehicle crews. So that's what I really have to say about my uniforms. Yeah, it's basically just exactly the same as the Patton 40 economy battlers, apart from this one. The clever somebody made it so that up here they said too close, so you cannot get a fast fuel dressing in the dressing pouch. Basically makes it useless. So yeah, just something funny I noticed. And this one actually does fit up the back together. So that's that. Yeah, I'll move on to what I'll be wearing under my uniform. Not going to be creepy and actually take my uniform off and show you what I'm wearing under it, because that would be rather creepy. Probably get me banned from YouTube and get arrested, which I don't want. So the trousers, these are Pattern 40 trousers. There were Pattern 37 trousers, however I don't have any of those. So these are post-war, these French, or they could be Greek also, or they could be Danish, I'm not sure, because I've not found any label in them, and I don't think they're Second World War British, but anyway, so they have, it's kind of like the standard British trousers of the Second World War. Well, the style, it differs only in small details. So it's got a big pocket here for maps or anything that you want. Keep spare rations in there, ammunition, whatever. I sometimes keep my camo net in there for my helmet. So here is a dressing pocket. So this is so that you can keep a first aid dressing on you at all times. I also keep my jackknife in here. This is my lovely original one. It was given to me after during a reenactment where basically this old boy from the unit that they reenacted had died. He gave all the stuff that he had to the reenactment society, and so they had this lying around, and I was talking to one of the guys, and because we reenacted the same unit, yes, you guessed it, it was the 4th Wilts. I can't remember which show it was somewhere, I don't know, One Piece? I can't remember. Anyway, possibly Trowbridge Veterans show maybe. It was there. Anyway, it could have been swindling quickly at war like 4 years ago, 5 years ago. Anyway, it's 4 years ago, and so yeah, the old boy had died, and gave all the stuff to them. And so I was there, and I was talking to them, and this really nice guy, and he said, I was talking to him, and he said, what you need to do is get yourself a knife. And they went, hang on, I think we might have one you could have. And I was like, really? And then he went off and said, hey Dave, do you know where the, I don't know if it was Dave, but a large amount of reenactors seem to be named Dave these days, so I'm probably right. And yeah, they found it, and they said have it for free, and I was like, thank you so much. I said, it's okay. So no date on this. It's made by ABL. says there. And then there's a serial number underneath it. And so this is the bit used for opening cans or bottles. You'd open a can by puncturing it, and then try and show you with just this. So you puncture it like that, you push this in, and it kind of just work your way around like that. Supposedly, however, I found that doesn't work. It's rather difficult. And then this is the bottle opener, so you put it over the top of the bottle. Try to show you this, even though this is a Molotov. So and then just put the cap off like that, and then you have the normal part of it, which is the knife part, which you don't really need to explain, which I don't really need to explain rather. So I absolutely love this. And then here is this bit. Some people search for picking stones out of horses' hooves. That is a myth that circulated after the war, when lots of people used to keep these, and they used lots of the stables or scouts or whatever. This is actually for splicing holes on rope, never designed for taking out things out of horses' hooves. However, that was an incidental product of it, which is also very, very useful for the cavalry. However, cavalry was not used by the British during the Second World War in any offensive way. Apart from they renamed the cavalry the tanks, so the tanks kind of had the nickname the cavalry, but they weren't actually the cavalry. They were tank units. So it would also have a piece of string attached to this, and this would then sit in here like I said before, and then the piece of string go around the waist, and that would be the lanyard, and it basically stopped it so that you'd be cutting something or whatever, and or doing something, you don't want to piss around doing that or whatever. And also, if it gets caught and whipped out, you don't lose it. So, yeah, I've got several of these, really awesome. I'll show you another one, it's going to tick. It came in several different patterns. This pattern, which just has the little can opener and the knife, and it misses off the bit for splicing rope, and you get this pattern, which is nicer. And yeah, I got another one of these somewhere, can't find it. So that is that. Now in the dressing pocket, it has this. This is an original 1953 dated bandage. First field dressing, I should say, rather. And so, yeah, it basically does what it says on the tin. Where is it? This end, I believe. At this end, there's a piece of string here. I believe you pull that, and you rip it open, and I believe this half is like bandage cotton. This is like the gauze. I've not opened one, don't wish to, because you know they have originals, and I don't want to win original stuff. So yeah. However, I have got an original shell dressing that someone put out it before me opened. So yeah. Now the pattern 37 battle dress trousers were exactly the same as this, apart from it had no button. The button was covered over. I think it didn't have a button. I'm pretty sure. These are pattern 40. So yeah, it still retains the covered over button here, but it has a button added here and it's uncovered. Let's show you.
There are certainly a great many more of them since the British.
So yep, it has two pockets here, one here and one here,
Sir, I have
and then it
myself full
has
confidence that if all do
should
their
only have
duty,
one on the ass.
if nothing is neglected,
Yeah,
and if
and
the best
this
arrangements
doesn't
are made,
have
as
one,
they
I
are
believe.
being made, we should prove ourselves
Yeah, should
once
be there,
more
I believe.
able to defend our
Anyway,
island home,
so
to ride out the
that's
storm
that
of
really.
war,
Just standard trousers
to
from there
outlive the
down,
menace of
the
tyranny,
boots,
if
and the
necessary,
gaiters.
for
So
years,
yeah, nothing fancy.
if necessary,
Apart from
alone.
they did have
At any rate, that is what we are going to try to do.
at the
That is
bottom
the result of
buttons,
adventures in government.
which you button up to make
Every man of them. That
what I
is the
showed
will of
before,
Parliament and the nation.
that sort of thing with the
The
boots,
British Empire and the French
and the
Republic
gaiters and the trouser,
linked
bottom of the
together
trousers,
in their cause
easier to do.
and in their need, will
However,
defend to the death their native soil,
because these
aiding
guys
each
don't have
other like
them,
good comrades to
it's
the
kind of
utmost
not
of their
incorrect because due
We
to
shall go
shortages
on
they
to
might
the
have
end. We shall
had
fight
a
in
couple that
France.
they didn't do that too.
We shall fight
So-
on the seas and oceans.
Yep. Now
We shall
with
fight with growing confidence
so now
and
they
growing
would have
strength in the air.
usually have on the outside
We shall defend
a
our island,
piece
whatever
of
the cost may be.
hot
We shall
calico
fight on
cloth
the
or something like
beaches.
that, cotton
We shall
cloth.
fight on the
It would
landing
be
ground.
usually there or
We
on the
shall
other
fight
side,
in the fields
which should have all the
and in
details
the
on it.
streets. We shall fight in
Similar
the
to
hills.
this.
We shall never surrender. And if,
Um,
which I do not
however,
for a moment believe,
it's not there.
this island
so-
or a large part of it
Because I didn't get around to doing it.
subjugated
So
and starving,
that's that. It's
then
on
our
the inside.
empire beyond the
So
seas,
not technically not inaccurate,
armed
but
and guarded by the
you know,
British
it could
fleet,
be on the inside or the outside.
carry on the struggle
And attached to them
until in
are
God's
braces.
good time.
These
The
are
new world, with
post-war,
all
I
its
believe.
power and might, steps forth to the
the camera
rescue and the liberation.
So these
of the
are
old.
post-war. Up to the back here, and then at the front here. Yeah, the original World War II ones should be white. These are blue. I believe that is inaccurate for the wartime. I'm like 99% sure. There might have been a couple of people with blue ones that they'd bought from home or officers that privately purchased them, but generally they were white. I did try and remedy that with these Aussie braces, but I mean they're leather and they're not particularly accurate. So because on the correct side that you should be wearing they're brown, so it doesn't really count. But hey ho. Anyway, so that's that. Just thought I'd show you, this is the label I have on the inside of my Patton 40 backless trousers. So yeah, it's fake, but so what? It makes it feel original. So and it looks original, semi. So that's all that really matters.
Ah, this is not the end. It is not even the beginning of the end. But it is perhaps the end of the beginning.